guess I need to explain. He was my sister-in-law's kid, her fifth. She had an older son that lived with my mother-in-law and 3 other kids that lived with their dad. I was very unhappy about her life decisions, and I was not her biggest fan. So I didn't talk to her much, if at all. And while I always played with and interacted with her other kids, when he was born, I refused to acknowledge him. I never once held him or played with him whenever she came around with him. I disliked him because in my mind he represented the way she lived life without thinking of any consequence. She didn't care about anything. And meanwhile, my wife and I were working hard to get back on our feet after being knocked down by life. We were getting back into a position that allowed us to enjoy life and make progress. And we had fun. My wife played soccer. I played flag football. We constantly took our kids to do fun and educational things. We visited the museum often. We played and learned at the Arboretum. We had great times at the pumpkin patch. If it rained, we played in it. If it snowed, we rolled in it. We enjoyed our little family, and life was finally good again. See, my wife and I married young and started a family young. We had 2 kids within 2 years, and we were working our butts off to be great parents and provide the best life we possibly could for our kids. We were the definition of a team. No one comes between us, and no one breaks us down. We had each other's backs like no one else. We worked to put my wife through school, and she graduated from A&M-Commerce. We had a plan that we worked to perfection till somebody threw a wrench in it. A huge wrench. After my wife's graduation, the timing was perfect for me to go back to school. My youngest was starting pre-K, which meant no more daycare while I was at work, which meant a ton of money being saved on daycare expenses, which meant that I could start working part-time instead of working full-time, and I could be a full-time student. The plan was working great. And then we got a phone call. My mother-in-law called to tell my wife that my wife's sister was being investigated by the Department of Child and Family Services. She didn't have any more information, but she asked my wife to come down to the office with her. I had a bad feeling about that. Did they want us to take custody of my sister-in-law's kids? I was conflicted. I wanted to help, but I could see the writing on the wall. So I told my wife that if they needed us to take anyone, we would take the older kids, but not the baby. We'll take Tony. We'll take Christian. We'll take Mariana. But no baby. I would rather take on 3 kids that could talk and understand and do things for themselves than take the baby. Not to mention the fact that when my school year started, they would be in school too, not in an expensive daycare. I knew instantly that I wouldn't be going back to school. I would be going back to work to a job that I despised. I saw our plan crumble right in front of my face. I could see us going backward instead of moving forward. But backward was not a place that I could bear going back to. Backward was not good. Backward was not my friend. And this was a huge step backward. This was a baby. Backward reminded me of the time we both lost our jobs and they foreclosed on our home. Backward reminded me of the humiliating conversation I had to have with my parents to ask if me, my wife, along with my 2-year-old daughter and 1-year-old son could move in with them until we got back on our feet. A baby means diapers and formula and daycare and lack of sleep. But he needed a home and someone to love him. He deserved a chance in life to be more than a statistic. He was working his way into my heart, which I tried to keep shielded from him because I didn't want to be heartbroken when he left. If he left. And boy, did he work his way into my heart.
3, 4.
Bye.
E.
Cheese. Bye-bye. Bye.
E.
Cheese.
E.
Hello? Hello? Hello, Jaden? Hello? How you doing? Bye-bye. 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 You gonna climb out? Cheese. Wait. Check it out. Oh, you found another pea? Then a year passed. Then 2 years passed. Then a phone call came to tell us that all parental rights had been terminated from his biological parents. He was actually going to be ours. For good. Now he's just another one of my little crazy nuts, and I love him so much. He has been a true blessing to us, and I'm grateful for the way that he has enriched my life.